Rora David, Peter Data, Alberto Kenyi, and Tom Kenyi Stanley.
By virtue of the authority vested in the Chancellor, and by law, and on his behalf, I confer upon all those persons whose names have been read the certificate in agricultural production and farm management of Nile University.
Tell you say you can 2 days unless I die.
Dear Chancellor, sir. Thank you very much, DJ. I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. We are going to have more of this after. Parents first before you, because they are more important than you. You are because they are. And the graduates, and the students, and all the friends of Nile University. I'm happy to be here for the second time. I think the last time was about 2 years ago, and I officiated representing the same person that I'm representing today. I didn't know that I was going to be a chief guest until last night when the Vice President of the Republic of Uganda, my supervisor, rang me to say, "Where are you?" I wish I knew the reason why he asked me where I was. I was going to tell her that I'm in Kampala. But unfortunately, I tied my hands. When I replied, I said, I'm in Arua City. She said, very good. She was supposed to be here. But unfortunately, she also got another assignment from another boss. All of us have a boss. The Vice President is my boss. The President is her boss. So the President assigned her something this morning where she will be unable to make it here. And that's why I'm here, to represent the Vice President at this graduation. But nevertheless, I enjoy it. Only that I've been trying to see how to feel like a vice president. But up to now, I haven't quite got it. But now that you are here, I'm feeling like vice presidential. The vice president has sent greetings to this university. She obviously loves it, because the last time she responded by sending a minister to represent her,
And this time, without hesitation, she sent me to represent her. So, she's one of you, and always feel free to conduct her. I want to congratulate the shareholders of this university, who are the people of West Nile. The churches, the Islamic faith, the local governments, the West Nile Parliamentary Group, plus others, all of them coming together to start a private university. A public university, but in the hands of the community. Congratulations. I am aware of the challenges you have gone through, the board chair and the management, but every success begins with a challenge. And without a challenge, there is no success. So a challenge is always a good beginning. Learn from your challenges, and you definitely will succeed. The mere fact that for so long you have been able to sustain this university through these challenges up to now is a clear indication that success is very near. We need to persist. So I urge you, the shareholders, the management, not to give up. You'll always be able to see success very shortly. I want to congratulate you, the graduates. I don't know how it feels like now to be a graduate, because the last time I felt like a graduate and a graduate was in 1976. Yeah. Yes. It felt so sweet at that time, and I'm sure it still feels sweet now. Congratulations. It's a big achievement of the investment that you have put in your life. Your parents have put in your life to be what you are. It's the outcome of a joint effort. Don't waste it. That's the point. Don't waste it. I was looking at the concept note about education for fundraising, and I want to read it, the first paragraph, verbatim. Higher education, this is from you, it's not from me. Higher education in Africa in general, and in West Nile in particular, has been marked by a threefold challenge. Namely, number one, the huge unexploited potential of a largely youthful population who remain largely unskilled or semi-skilled. There are over 1 million youth in West Nile, and only 6.4% of these completed tertiary education. Number two, the unaffordability of higher education by most youths from low-income families leading to the constrained access, with the net enrollment rate standing at only 7.5% against the national average of 15%. Meaning, nationally, at least 15% of the Ugandan families have not enrollment of their children to higher education. But in West Nile, it is 7.5%. And number 3, educational relevance and quality that continues to elude our people. Only 3.7% of the youth that completed tertiary education are working. The rest are either unemployed or working in vulnerable jobs requiring little or no education. This is where I want to stop with the quotation. You have now become part of that statistics. This is the situation that we see in West Nile. In spite of what government may do, it still persists. We have classrooms. Our people are not performing as well as the rest of the people. We have the same teachers trained in the same teaching, national teachers schools and in the same universities, but our people are not performing as well as the rest of the country. The question is why? That cannot be blamed externally. It can only be blamed, or the solution cannot be found internally, not blaming, but the solution can only be found internally. Because we have the same, perhaps even in some situations, better environment. Some of you have traveled this country. You have seen the infrastructure in education in other parts of Uganda. In terms of the urban and the infrastructure, I can assure you that West Nile performs, compares very well. In fact, in some areas, our classrooms and our infrastructure is even much better. But in spite of that, as the statistics here shows, your statistics shows, we're performing badly. The answer to that question is collectively with us in West Nile. It's very easy. Sometimes when you eat only 2 meals a day at your home, it is easy to start thinking that it is your neighbor who is causing you to eat 2 meals a day, or less than 2 meals. When he eats 3, you say, you see, that man or that woman must be doing something. Otherwise, why is he eating 2? Why is he eating 3 times and I'm eating only twice or sometimes missing? That is called lamentations. And doctor here knows what is written in the book of Lamentations. I would like us to go and read the book of Lamentations in a book called the Bible, the chapter. Lamentations is looking internally, but non-lamentation is looking externally for solutions. And for the first time today, I found the solution in the statement of these representatives of the university here, the graduates who talked here. The one who read it here. He talked of positivity, negativity. Inward looking, outward looking. Challenges, no challenges. All of them. I would want you to publish that statement and give it to everybody. Each of you, the graduates. That statement is short. Go and type it, and each one of you should go with it. It is yours. It provides the solutions to life's challenges. It provides it. So I would like you and us to look at that statement and find solutions. And the message to you, therefore, is look out for solutions. That quotation I talked about was talking about jobs. So many people not working. I don't agree with that statement. There's nobody who is born, who is not working. We're all doing some work. The only thing is our definition of work is wrong. Many times we define work as that job where you sit down on a desk and that is work. Unfortunately, that cannot be the truth. It can't now. I want to give you the example of myself. When I did my last examination in 1976, when I was writing, I had already got, and I was doing it for a bachelor's in commerce. I had an appointment letter already to go and work after. Is that possible now, looking at the realities? It's not. Why? Because the numbers have increased. The desks have remained. I think somebody here was saying, the chairman of the board was saying, the jobs in the civil service are about 400. Actually, to be precise, they're about 480,000. That includes the policemen, the policewomen, the prison warders, the teachers, name them all, the civil servants, the mukungus, the cows, everybody. The job expansion in government is not as rapid as the number of people we're putting out. Should we stop education? The answer is no. There is value for education in itself. So in other words, our interpretation of a job and our interpretation of the application of an education must now change because of the modern circumstances, the situation, the number of people we produce, the number of people we produce biologically, the number of people produced out of the institutions like in Nile University, the number of people we produce out of A-level, the number of people we produce in other universities. And so, while that quotation and the data is correct, that a number of our people are not doing jobs which are profitable, we must redefine what is a profitable job, sometimes including what we don't regard as profitable. And for me, a job is anything that I do which gives me money or which lives me a daily life. That's a job. I know you don't like it, but that's the truth of what I look at it. If I had the opportunity, that's how I would define it. If we do it that way, then we will all see the opportunity to be able to move together to do better things. And this question of saying we're unemployed many times would not arise, and we would say we should do things better rather than we are unemployed. Can we do whatever we're doing better so that it gives us money? It gives us a means of livelihood, it gives us food on our table. I also like the focus of this university on agriculture. I'm happy that you are focused on agriculture because 3/4 of our people here in Western Nile rely on agriculture. And in that respect, you are absolutely right. You asked the Vice President for a tractor, for irrigation equipment. We delivered your message. The Vice President still has that idea, and one day it will be fulfilled here. It's a matter of time. And since I'm from here, I can take it upon my head that a year, 2, 3, if it is not delivered, I will be partly responsible for not giving you an answer. I'll do that. But your agricultural training needs to be practical to help our people. That as soon as they finish the certificate and diploma and degree here, they go and apply it. You need to inculcate in them the spirit that agriculture is good. Look at the opportunities we have to sell things of agriculture in West Nile, both within and without. The eggs which are eaten in South Sudan are coming all the way from southern Uganda, from Kampala. Don't we think chicken could grow here and lay eggs here? Even cabbage, which is sold there. Don't we think we could grow some cabbage here? A graduate of agriculture could be doing other things. Even if you're a teacher, you'll be in a classroom, but the cabbage will be growing. You don't have to stand on the cabbage every hour for it to grow. At least from 8, after you have watered it, you go in the classroom, you're teaching, the cabbage is growing. So that when you come from the classroom, the small fee is paid by, the small salary paid by the government is supplemented by the cabbage, the tomato, the onions, the watermelon. These days in West Nile here, people are learning to grow watermelon. People are growing iris. People are growing matoke in these other parts of Vora and so forth. Wonderful opportunities. So I'm happy. Let us make this agriculture practicable, applicable. Let us get the support that we can. Let us use whatever resources we are to change the situation in West Nile. Finally, you made this function for a fundraising. That's good. Instead of having a day of celebration only, we also leave something behind. That's a good innovation, Vice Chancellor and your team. The only thing this morning, when I was sent the concept, I tried to find out whether there's any atmosphere of fundraising in a rural city here about Nguni University, or rather Nile University. There was nothing. There was nothing. A few of my business friends, I rang them. They said they didn't know anything about it. Honestly. So, next time when you want to do it, popularize it as widely as possible. We shall come with the 1,000. We shall come with the 2,000. Whatever amount we shall come, however small it is, we shall come with it. But your vice president does not come without. This morning, she rang me, said, since you are going, tell these people, when you come back, we shall arrange, we send 10 million shillings for this fundraise. So the vice president will send you 10 million. I expected a bigger clapping from you. See, you people, if you want to get more, even when somebody gives you small, you say, thank you very much. Then when the person hears that noise, so will ask more. Honorable, Right Honorable Vice Chancellor, the Second Deputy Prime Minister, has sent 2 million. It is in my phone. He has sent 2 million. Okay. And I'm going to deliver it. Okay? And of course, I can't live here without. Since you have seen how the bosses have sent. We're launching, so I'll leave 1 million. But this is a beginning. This is a launching. I want to assure you, next time when you are doing the real fundraising, give me enough notice. I will show that my name is Omega Kania. Otherwise, I want to thank you very much for this occasion. I wish everybody success. The parents, congratulations for bringing up these people. That is the best gift you could give to your children. It will never die. Congratulations, graduates. Don't disappoint your families. Use this certificate for the best results to make sure that your family, however low it is, must come up a little bit better. And finally, the university administration, thank you for maintaining the university. I say all this for God and my country.
Today marks the end of one chapter, but more importantly, it marks the beginning of a new journey, one filled with choices, challenges, and change. I am deeply honored to stand before you, not just as a representative of the graduates, but as one who has witnessed and been part of this remarkable journey of growth, resilience, and purpose. As we gather today here, I am reminded of the words of Nelson Mandela, who said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." We have been equipped with this powerful weapon here at Nile University. But it's not only knowledge we carry forward. We also carry the values, friendships, and a sense of responsibility to uplift those around us. My aging mother once told me something simple, yet profound. She said, "Hate has 4 letters, but so does love. Lying has 4 letters, but so does truth. Failing has 7 letters, but so does success. Negativity has 10 letters, but so does positivity." And she added, "Cry has 3 letters, but so does joy." Her message was clear. Life offers us a choice. Every day we stand at the crossroad between bitterness and hope, between fear and courage, between darkness and light. Let's choose to love more, speak the truth, pursue success with integrity, spread positivity, and bring joy wherever we go. To our mentors who have been the professors and the lecturers in classes, and those in the different departments at the university, you have been the architects of our minds. You have pushed us beyond our limits and opened our eyes to the power of critical thought. Just like Maria Montessori once said, "The greatest sign of success for a teacher is to be able to say, 'The children are now working as if I did not exist.'" We are ready to carry forward what you have instilled in us, our dear mentors. To the families, sponsors, and those who have helped their dear ones to study, your sacrifice has brought us here. Through your every late night and every moment of doubt, your unwavering support has been the foundation of our success today.
and to the administration of Nile University, thank you for your steadfast leadership, especially during times of financial difficulty. We recognize the challenges you faced and the sacrifice you made to keep the institution live and thrive. Those unseen sacrifices, we appreciate them. But also want to seek pardon from you wherever we have gone astray. Forgive us. And also want to employ my fellow students to pardon them wherever we did not do well. For the graduates today, we are not just graduates, we are torchbearers of the future. The world is waiting not just for our skills or knowledge, but for our hearts, our voices, and our light. Let us go into the world not just to make a living, but make a difference. Congratulations. Lead with integrity and lift others as you climb. I say this for integral development and for God and my country.
My name is Tangaza Grace, a student in the Faculty of Business Administration. I have graduated today with happiness, and I am so happy to be a graduate right now. And as a graduate, I always feel happy to go out there and maybe get my success or achieve whatever things I've learned from class, to be taken out in practice or to put out there in practicals. So I feel happy and encourage all the youth and the graduates out there not to feel that when you're a graduate, you will never get any job or anything.
What unique things will you do out there to survive? Because many of them go out there and fail to be innovative.
Obviously, for you to be happy, you have to start your own job. You just go and do anything which makes you happy and makes you also earn something. You should not just be a graduate and you wait for what you're supposed to be or the course you've graduated for.
There is always this challenge when you're still in school, which makes things difficult, but finally you have overcome it. What was it?
One, me, I'm a free lady where I hustle. Me, I'm a hustler. I normally get my whatever things I want by doing any kind of job out there. More especially selling whatever things I want. Like in my home district, let me say, where I stay, I normally sell charcoal. People fear selling charcoal. If you hear any person that, hey, this is a graduate and is selling charcoal, they feel like, hey, you've never gone to school or not. But I earn money. I feel proud about that.
I hope you're not promoting environmental degradation.
Of course.
Okay, how was the journey? Maybe how many years? For how long were you here?
2 years.
How was the journey?
It was massive and it was okay.
Where do you come from?
Koboko.
One of the things that one of the speakers did mention was how the young people use the digital platform to do abusive things. What is your comment? Was one of the young
abusive comments?
Like using digital
misuse of
social
media.
Yes. What is your take? What is your advice?
And how do you use it personally?
Personally, I use social media to promote myself in not doing the wrong but the good. Always what I do, I feel it is good to me because it makes me feel happy and exposed to the world. You never know. In job opportunity, if you're out there in media, anyone can give a phone call and then you achieve what you want than sitting down without even using the social media, since it is what they have brought for us youth more especially.
Okay.
On behalf of the University Council and on my own behalf, I have the great honor and privilege to welcome you all to the second graduation ceremony of the university, Nile University. It is indeed my first graduation ceremony in this university, and it pleases me that we as a council, have been able to have this done after quite a time of struggles. Allow me first to express our deepest gratitude and appreciation to Honorable Kanyabika for being with us today, representing the office of the Vice President of the Republic of Uganda. We know how busy you are, but at the same time we appreciate the fact that when West Nile calls, you are always here to support and encourage and motivate us. Thank you, Minister, for being with us today. Today, we witnessed the passing out of 64 graduates in certificate, diploma, and degree programs in the fields of agriculture, business administration, and education. And I think for those who have been able to arrive at this stage, we want to pass our congratulations. Congratulate yourselves, congratulate your families, and your friends who have brought you this far. Can we please applaud for the graduates? A graduation ceremony is one of the most memorable events in any student's life. It comes at the end of an arduous process, a long journey of academic and social preparations. And I'm sure the Vice Chancellor enumerated a lot of these troubles and tribulations that you went through. This ceremony is therefore a testimony that you have been tested and found worthy to begin your life on a new level to achieve your life's purpose. Your hard work, dedication, and perseverance has paid off. The Council, the Board of Directors, as well as University Management are aware of the difficult circumstances under which you have operated. Many of these have been enumerated by the Vice Chancellor and also by the Board of Directors. Your patience has been tested. As you can see, to the very last moment when you had to wait longer for graduation. You recall, on the original date for this graduation was supposed to be in January. And as a result of that, there have been quite a lot of complaints and unhappiness expressed. But we are grateful that you remained patient and focused. This graduation ceremony is therefore more remarkable as a symbol of your passion, commitment, tenacity, perseverance, and resilience. Again, I think you should be congratulated for that. You are graduating at a time when the world is in a crisis, which are many ways they are painful effects of leadership issues, all the way from Europe, America, and Africa. We have dictatorships, we have corruption, populism, regional conflicts, internal civil wars, geographical upheavals, and various forms of sectarianism and tribalism, which characterize both the global, regional, even the national scene. There are challenges of climate change, environmental degradation, poverty, and increasing inequality, much of which we are familiar with, especially in our region, in our country. These challenges require a new type of leadership in all fields, in social field, economic field, and political. A leadership that is people-oriented, with integrity and commitment to the common good. A leadership that has the vision and strives to devise new solutions to problems. For your generation, that is your big challenge. At the same time, in spite of these challenges, you have unparalleled opportunities. You are fortunate, a very fortunate generation, because you have at your disposal amazing technology, which no other generation before you could even dream of. You have computer software, artificial intelligence, all which now simplify the return processes that they were taught in all our disciplines and programs, whether it's in agriculture, commerce, education, engineering, space exploration, finance, logistics. In all these areas, there is no technology that simplifies your job. There is even now a software that can handle the value chain in agricultural production from the time that you put your crops on the ground to the time that you are actually in the market selling them. And for an institution which has the agriculture as its flagship, that should be something that should be of great value to you. You have wireless and social media platforms, the growth platforms for information, dissemination, for interaction, and for also for networking. Those are your advantages. Technology is power. The power for innovation to turn the challenges of a generation into opportunities. Make sure that you use that power for great purpose. Use it to innovate and create a new world. During your years at the university, I believe you have acquired technical skills and competencies in your various fields of study. You have also acquired personal competencies, leadership, and life skills which you will require to flourish in a fast-changing world. The graduation, therefore, is simply a commencement of a long-term life process, a process of becoming creative, productive, and very useful citizens of our communities and our citizens, participating in social, economic, as well as political transformations of your communities and society. I urge you to embrace the challenges of your time, take them on board, while at the same time taking advantage of the opportunities. As graduates, when you leave this podium today, you will now become proud members of Nile University alumni. We will send you out as ambassadors of the university to promote the growth of your alma mater. We are looking forward to your full participation, involvement, and support in all activities that relate to this university. We have already had, as from my short period as a council, chairman of council, I know that we have had a lot of support and inputs from alumni who have a great interest in this university. Honorable Minister, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be repeating here the obvious things that have been said over and over again by previous speakers, that Nile University was founded by the community of West Nile to address higher education, affordability, and relevant issues, especially in the region. The region, in all statistical manifestation indices for social development, comes up as the second poorest in the whole of Uganda. We have high rates of unemployment. All sources of indices are for measuring social and economic development and well-being. West Nile is lagging behind. The ownership of this university characterizes this sub-region, which, though lagging behind in development, continues to demonstrate strong sense of unity and identity. The founders of this university are the entire people of West Nile, represented by the Catholic and Anglican church bishops, the Muslim Supreme Council, leadership, members of parliament, the 14 local government chairpersons, meaning the 12, the 11 districts, and the 3 municipal laws and the city council. Cultural leadership, representatives of civil society, private sector organizations. By character, therefore, this university is just another form of a public university that needs government support. Honorable Minister, Nile University is uniquely positioned to partner with the government and the community in creating and promoting socio-economic transformation of the region and beyond. University vision, that of promoting integral growth and development, responds to the government of Uganda's commitment to creating wealth at the community level. Our academic programs reflect our strategic vision to foster transformation from below. Integration of agriculture, which is our flagship, with agribusiness, business management, in education provide a dynamic mix that can provide community transformation. Has been stated over these noble goals that we have and the vision that we have and the challenges that it generates transcend our level of the current resources and financial capabilities. Given that we are a community-owned non-profit university, in this context, university has made appeals to government over time, specifically to the Right Honorable Vice President of the Republic of Uganda. We have made fairly documented requests for various agricultural tools, a tractor, agricultural machinery, agricultural inputs, including heifers and goats and animal products, provisions for small-scale irrigation, equipment, and also in agricultural laboratory to aid our research and teaching on agriculture in this university. As has already been stated, we have more than 300 hectares of land waiting to be exploited through practical agricultural education. Our plea, therefore, is simply to remind you, Honorable Minister, through you to remind Her Excellency the Vice President of these requests that are lying in his files. Obviously, the direct beneficiary of this requested support will be the youth and the community of West Nile region, especially as we already indicated, due to the low income groups, the low levels of incomes, and a lot of degree of vulnerability. A lot of people cannot afford higher education especially in the public institutions. As a result because of this problem, as we can note that this university has the lowest fees in the whole country, which makes it possible for those in the lower income brackets to be able to afford. Ladies and gentlemen, institutional capacity is an essential condition for the success of a university and of any institution for that matter. Such an institutional capacity consists of a stable leadership, competent management, financial stability, and adequate staffing. Not forgetting, of course, facilities and infrastructure. Again, a lot of the details of this have been provided to you. Reports that we have received from the board through council reflect that university has been described as severely impaired to execute its mandate. This is largely due to this lack of institutional capacity, primarily. As a result, these have constrained the process of obtaining a charter for the university, which has led to serious questions being raised about the National Council of Higher Education on the sustainability of the university. We seek to regularize appointments of otherwise visionary leadership and competent academic staff, but all these require urgent mobilization of financial resources for building the necessary capacity. In this context, we want to applaud the Board of Directors for today launching the fundraising event. I believe this will go a long way in addressing some of the financial human resource challenges and constraints. But this resource mobilization needs to be sustained. And I was happy to hear from the chairman of the organizing committee that they are planning to have this event on a yearly basis. That should go a long way in addressing our challenges. We appeal to the communities of West Nile to generously support this effort and contribute for the continuous sustenance of this institution. To the owners of the university, I said that ownership comes with responsibility. We therefore appeal to West Nile Development Association and local government authority, the religious institutions private and business sector, parliamentarians, and other stakeholders that the future of this university lies in your hands. You have made pledges, and we need these pledges to be fulfilled, to be able to supplement the resources. We are still to community, the Muslim Supreme Council. In the last meeting of the stakeholders, we had a promise of 10 apricots pledged by the Muslim Supreme Council, and we are still hoping that those will be delivered. When I took over as chairman of the council, and having heard and read the reports of the status of the university, I asked myself a question: what would I do with 2 billion shillings? And that question, I shared it with the executive of West Nile Parliamentary Caucus in Parliament buildings. And we enlisted the things that we will do with 2 billion shillings. I'm still hoping that the parliamentarians are digesting that question and looking at it. I also noticed that the Nile Strategic Plan 2022-23, 2022-23 to 2025-26, which will be expired, which will be ending soon, had projected an amount of 85 billion shillings over the planned period. I'm not sure what the ambitious financial projection was based on. My dream, however, is that we mobilize 5% of that amount, which boils down to 4.25 billion shillings over the next 5 years. Because I think in the next year, this year and the next year, we are going to start embarking on a strategic planning process to revise and update the current strategic plan. And we will hope that we will be able to raise that money. Maybe that, my dream may be a realistic one, but I believe that with faith, it can come to pass. In conclusion, allow me again to thank our Honorable Minister, Honorable Kanya, for being here with us in supporting us in this endeavor of building our institution. In a very special way, let me convey the gratitude of the University Council to the Chancellor of the University for his exceptional commitment and tireless effort in trying to build and towards the support of the growth and development of this university. We thank you enormously. I would like to congratulate the members of the University Council who have contributed their wisdom and time to try and keep this university afloat. When I came in, I realized they've done a lot of work in trying to come up with proposals, ideas, recommendations on how we can get this information, this institution, move it forward. And those recommendations will have to be acted upon. One of these is, of course, the recommendation put to the board that we need a fundraising event, which is being launched today. I commend the Vice Chancellor, his deputy, the registrar, and the entire management for exceptional efforts they have made towards rendering this particular day success as it is. Thanks to the Vice Chancellor's visionary, competent leadership. He has also made a lot of sacrifices, given the difficult circumstances under which he worked, to be able to make sure that this university stays afloat. We thank the University Senate, the academic and non-academic staff, and the students, our partners and key stakeholders of Nile University towards the efforts towards making this graduation a success. Once again, finally, my congratulations go to the graduates, the staff, the parents, and guardians, those who have sponsored, and all the university stakeholders, and wish you all peace and prosperity. Thanks for listening, and for God and my country.
Yeah, you're going to tell us your name and position, and briefly, we want to, yes, the graduation has taken place, but also there was, this fundraising launched. What is this particularly for? What are we raising funds for? How much do we need? And maybe what are the 1 or 2 gaps in the university? It could be infrastructure, it could be human resource that needs to be fixed and needs support of government, but also shareholders and stakeholders because it's not a government university.
Okay, thank you. I'm Lar Alfred. I've been asked by the Board of Directors to fill in the Vice Chancellor's office to be able to see how we can put ideas together to push the university forward. And this comes against a number of challenges. You'll recall when this university was founded as owned by the community. Now the sense of community is a very wide thing. Each one of us here is part of the ownership of the university. However, that is vague enough to allow for various stakeholders not taking seriously their responsibilities. So when the university was founded, it was led by Father Digger Cyril, who put in a lot of effort as an individual to let the university move forward. Unfortunately, 2021 it passes on, and that leaves a gap. How do we move the university forward? So with the proposal from the council and eventually from the board of directors, we had to say, no, we need to take the university back to the foundation body. And that's why we went back to the subscribers. Nile University is founded as a company limited by guarantee, not by shares, with the 14 local government, as has been severally explained, as the key subscribers. So take it back to the owners and see how we can revitalize it. Now, this is happening at a time of COVID, when we lost students, we lost lecturers as a university. And also this is coming at a time when we had just transitioned from being a campus of Uganda Matters to standing on our own. There is a complete severance between Uganda Matters and Nile University. Now, this comes as a shock. You are losing students, you are losing staff, and you want to reboot. And that's why 2022 student population of only 40 students. Now we start that journey. The journey gets a little complicated with the ownership question. Staff are asking, who are the owners? Students are asking, who are the owners? Board of directors are not meeting as they should. So an uphill task of trying to reconstitute a very promising institution. So we could say 2022 saw a rebooting of systems, trying to reboot systems. Remember, Nile University was given a provisional license in 2018. COVID comes and it started operation as a standalone university in September of the same year. 2020 is COVID, March is COVID. That affects it until 2022. 2022 we are restarting. So creates immediate challenges. For instance, 40 students, 46 staff. Now, even UNESCO ratio of student lecturers ratio is 1 to 25. 1 to 25. Ours abnormal 1 to 1. Now, this immediately creates a resource constraint. How do you finance education for 40 students using 46 staff? And we are having over 22 programs. Now, 40 students on 22 programs. The implication is 2 students per program. And per program meaning year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. You see, immediate constraints. So we have to start thinking out of the box. What do we do for this young university to let it take off? And that's where a lot of noise comes in, because you have to take tough decisions, very tough decisions. Some staff have to say, no, you can't be on. You have challenges of resources. How do you pay people? The owners, for example, the local governments, they have their own financial constraints. The amount of locally generated revenue that the local government generate is not even enough to meet their own local government needs. And we are saying you are an honor to contribute something to the university. So this really constitutes a real financial grind on the university. That requires everybody to think out of the box. So today, this launch of the fundraising literally is an attempt to holistically refinance the university. We have built student numbers to over 180. Okay, we have removed out today over 60 of them, meaning we are left with about 120. Now, still, if you look at the number of lecturers, about 36 lecturers, okay, about 36 lecturers. The ratio is still not good. The ratio is still not good. So we are fighting to see that we get resources that can enable us offer the basic service, mobilize students, do the marketing beyond mere awareness. You are in the media, we do some awareness in terms of publicity. You are making you publicize our programs, but marketing goes beyond awareness. We need to go really to the roots to reach out to communities and be able to offer. So these are the challenges that this fundraising really helps us towards. Again, it is also in the context of the regulator. The regulator has minimum standards that we have to meet, and all these standards require resources. Okay, and the regulator has given us time that please work on these issues where you are not fully meeting certain requirements as any university. No university is perfect. But ours, you see, we are more even constrained. So they are giving us time, please check, mobilize the resources, and see how far you can go given the current situation. They agree with us that the university has very huge potential, very huge potential. However, they are also aware of the constraints that was imposed on the university, including the COVID pandemic. So they are giving us advice, you need to change this, you need to do that this way to make us move forward. But unfortunately, the real issue on the ground is financial resources. You see, like I mentioned before, you see, private universities that are running, majority of them, apart from the faith-based institutions, are owned by individual entrepreneurs who pick money and put in. And therefore, they bear the residual risk that in the event that something goes wrong, I'm ready to lose. And that is a motivating factor in business that makes you go out of your way. Now, when you're a community owned, where every member, the 3 million plus in West Nile, is an owner of the university, then who bears that residual risk? At the end, it is management that must take decisions on a day-to-day basis in consultation with the University Council and the Board of Directors representatives to see what can work. But at the end of the day now, they bear the residual risk, yet they are not owners. So these are the challenges why this fundraising becomes very, very critical to move us to the next level. It hasn't been easy for the University Management, for Governance Council, for the board to reach where we have reached. It hasn't been easy. But because of the goodwill, this is one positive thing. You see it in everybody has the goodwill to move things forward. And that's what has led to today's graduation, that the goodwill is there. The Chancellor of the University, Moses Ali, we are always in his office to do his part. Honorable Didi Boka has always been in for us. The new chairman, University Council, we have been constantly brainstorming what is the next step, what is the next step. And as I talk to the media, this is something that I really appeal for. In the situation of a young, promising university, there are two things we suffer. One is that it becomes clear that certain things are not happening the way they should be, ideally. And that for itself can be interpreted by any stakeholder in any way. And when it reaches the media, there's a possibility that the media also makes it escalate. Okay. The second aspect of it is the positive side, that we look at the media as understanding the exact predicament of the university, where it is, in its challenge and strategic directions, and acknowledge openly that clearly there are challenges that needs to be overcome, and then present an image which addresses or imbues positivity rather than negativity. And I believe it is in that spirit that then we build the confidence. For instance, I give you this example. The students that have been coming here have largely been brought by fellow students. That in spite of the challenges that are taking place, the commitment of lecturers in the classroom instill confidence in the students. And they are able to go out there and say, okay, yes, we have challenge A, challenge B, but that's where we are getting value. And in that spirit, we have been able to move to where we have reached today.
Okay, just
Yeah.
but is it on use that now you can keep using it to generate, resources for the university?
For the moment, no, the land is not being utilized. The land is not being utilized. Part of it is being settled on by refugees. They have entered part of it. They are using, and we found since we are not yet utilizing the land as we should, they can stay on and make use of the land.
Okay.
But otherwise, we have plans for that land, including, if I may say one thing, we are thinking of, for instance, doing on a sizable part of it bamboo farming, and with the entire bamboo chain. And there is also the question of carbon, the whole issue of carbon and climate protection. Bamboo plays a very critical role in conservation, but it has possibility for handcraft and so many other potential value addition products. We have explored this already with some partners. Again, that's why now part of the fundraising, can we get resources so that we start some of these plans? We start exploiting that land. At the same time, while in the process of exploiting, we are able to empower the community around through the byproducts of bamboo farming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Last message maybe to the community of West Nile in general concerning this university.
Thank you to the community, the people of West Nile in general, the most natural sub-region separated by the River Nile with all the promises and great potential. I invite you to join us in Nile University, which is a community-owned university. You are an owner, a part owner of this university, with the potential to gain directly for your children, for your relatives, for your dependents, through various products that we offer, courses that we offer, but also through financial incentives that we give, half bursaries that we give, 10 half bursaries that we give to every sub-county. Of all the 72 sub-counties, each sub-county is entitled to half bursary for 10 students to join in. Come in and join us through that scheme if you can't join us in any other way. But we are saying, if you can be able to contribute even 1,000 shillings for over 2 million, 3 million people, we would be able to make billions. And that billions would go in to enable the university deliver services in a new way. And I particularly appeal to those who have moved beyond the low wealth quartile. They have moved beyond the bottom line and have reached somewhere. This is a contribution, this is rather a time to make a contribution to humanity by supporting an institution that is not seeking profit, but is seeking the development of our people in West Nile. All of us you see here, we are volunteers. We have come together as volunteers to see if we can put our heads together and move this institution forward. You also have the opportunity to join us to move the university forward. The fundraising is going on. Please come and make your contribution in any way that you can. That's my message to you, and that's what we wish for the university and for the people of West Nile sub-region.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Give us your details here so that we don't misspell your name, title, and contact.
I got an accident on the hand, so I'm practicing how to ride. I'm practicing how to ride.
Largely has a number of programs related to agriculture, and it has land in Teregu, which can inculcate into, development in terms of commercial farming to boost the university with the request for a tractor from government. Do you think this would be, a baby step in reorganizing the university as we source for others funds?
Just to also add on, maybe what are some of the strategies apart from the fundraising as the Vice Chancellor of the university is putting to promote the image of the university out there?
We needed to get the context in which we are operating. We had 22 programs across 3 faculties with very small numbers. One thing that had to be done is clearly scale out some of those, pull them out. Let students who are in the system move and complete, okay? But don't allow new admissions. Don't reaccredit programs that do not seem marketable. 2, there are programs which we are competing with everybody in the market. And probably somebody would think traveling from city center to here, when there's an alternative within city center, would be wasteful. So there are some programs which we say, no, let's not focus. Let's focus on relevance. You remember what was being mentioned by the entire team, board team, relevance. We are fundamentally agricultural in nature. So focus on agriculture as an area. And also given the development direction that the country is taking, agriculture stands to benefit the community best. That's why we have gone into that direction, focusing on that flagship program in agriculture, from certificate all the way to bachelor degrees. What are the things we really want to do? For instance, that building down there is supposed to be a poultry. We are supposed to be constructing animal shed here for keeping Frisian cattle, hybrid cattle, for piggery, for goat farming, okay? At the moment, we thank Abbey Farm. Abbey Farm is helping us. Our students go for practical to Abbey Farm. But we need to do it on our own. So our vision is, at the level of board and council and management, is really to set these things here so that they are not only for purposes of facilitating teaching and learning, but also they are for the purposes of income generation. It is also in our strategic view that would become a learning center for the community, so that we use these to support farmers in the community on best practices in farming, and then related government programs. Here we are on about 32 acres of land. 32 acres of land. We cannot develop it simply because we are focusing on immediate operational needs of the university. We have to focus and ensure that management has the funds required to pay staff, required to meet day-to-day operational needs. But the strategy, in our strategic plan, we have to cultivate all these. Already we are doing with the students. Students have used the land as for demonstration farming, but at a small level. We want to go a little further. What do I mean? Look at the West Nile situation. It was mentioned. If the smallest crop, Irish potatoes, tomatoes, and others are being bought from outside West Nile, what it means is resources from West Nile is getting out of West Nile to our neighboring districts or regions. But there is nothing that is bringing him income from outside the region Now, why? Probably one of the reasons is that the crops we are focusing on are not marketable in their current form. And this is where a university like this, with the right funding, explore and experiment on alternative high-value crops with our experts in agriculture, which then we would experiment with and then showcase for the community and begin to scale it out to ensure that, yes, there is an alternative. I give an example. Arua is trying cocoa, but where is this being supported from the knowledge perspective? That's where a university like this would really play a central role in research. Where does cocoa do well? What are some of the best practices that farmers need to adopt? And we have the experts who can do this. But again, it goes back to resources required to do this. So literally, we have that vision to expand, but literally, we are still constrained by the resources. As at the moment, our focus is on rebooting systems, letting us reach a level where we are self-sustaining. But of course, we don't wait fully. You start taking some baby steps here and there without committing too much, but starting to take some baby steps. In regard to the land in Teregu, yes, the land was given to the university on a leasehold. Okay, processes are underway to convert it into a freehold, and that would allow for total ownership of that land. The processes have begun. There are some technical issues here and there that needs to be followed up so that the full conversion takes place from leasehold to freehold. So those are some of the things we are working on.
Yeah, Honorable, as board chairperson of the university, we found a number of issues which needed support, especially from government, but also stakeholders. There is this fundraising drive. What is it particularly for? How much money do we need for the project we are raising funds for?
Yeah, thank you. Today, 9th of May 2025, we are here at the Nile University campus in Abati to witness the graduation of 65 graduates that received certificates, diplomas, and degrees awarded by Nile University, an indigenous university founded by the leaders and people of West Nile, Mayan, Moyo, Nebi, and Ruan Yumbe, to Wenda, which is the owner of the Nile University. I am Dr. Bokadi Di George, the chairperson, board of directors of Nile University. The university, not being a government university, requires resources. And these resources have to come from within the region, which include the tuition fee paid by the students and the parents, and any other innovative and creative ways and means of running the university. As the board and management of the university, we have cash flow constraints at the moment. And because of that, we have come up with an initiative to locally mobilize and leverage resources from we the people of West Nile. And to that effect, we have set up a central organizing committee supported by external organizing committee to raise for us about 400 million, which is money we require to stabilize the operations of the university. So today, during the graduation ceremony, the chief guest, who is none other than Big Honorable Mario Kania, launched the fundraising drive, which will run for 30 days starting today, culminating with a run as well as a fundraising dinner to be hosted in Arua City on the 7th of June. The amount we intend to raise is 400 million. We expect to raise about 200 million from the run and about 200 million from the dinner. What is this money intended for? This money is intended to, one, help us be able to ensure we are able to put in place a substantive governance, leadership, and management structure for the university, led by a vice chancellor whom we're able to attract and retain to be full-time on campus. Two, the chancellor cannot work alone. We need to recruit qualified lecturers in the 3 faculties that Nile University offers courses in: the Faculty of Agriculture, the Faculty of Business Studies, and the Faculty of Education. At the moment, many of the lecturers that we have are part-time lecturers. We want to attract substantive, full-time lecturers, heads of departments, assistant lecturers that will be able to offer quality learning and teaching experience for our students, for us to be able to enhance the attraction of students and increase enrollment. The same resources will help us be able to improve on our learning and teaching materials and tools and equipment, as well as refurbish the university for it to have a befitting look of its being a university. This is a short-term financing strategy. We have a medium-term and long-term financing strategy to stabilize the university, amongst which will include, of course, increasing the enrollment. The more students we enroll, the more revenue the university generates from tuition. And so we appeal to parents out there to bring their children to come and pursue relevant certificate, diploma, and degree courses to generate revenue for us to sustainably finance this university. Two, we would like also the university to be not only an expenditure center or a cost center, but also a revenue center that has the capacity to generate resources from its assets base. The university sits on a vast piece of land, and it has also land in Iterego, which land can be a source of revenue to it. It can be used for agriculture, and that's why we've appealed to the government to donate agricultural implements to the university for the university students to be able to generate revenue using the land that we have. We also believe our land is very prime, and if we invest in real estates within the university, the real estates that we have will be able to offer hostels and other rental facilities within the city, which will generate revenue. The other innovative ways through which the university will be able to generate revenue to meet its financial obligations in the future will be once we attract competent lecturers. They should be able to write research grants. And research grants are one of the mainstays of universities the world across, which will supplement what is generated from tuition and the other income-generating activities for the university to run. I want to conclude with a message about a university called the University of Botswana, which was started by the people of Botswana at the time of independence. Because when Botswana got independence, they had no university. And so the leaders asked themselves, where are we going to educate our children? And where shall we get the money to build our own national university? They said our resources are from within, let's not look outside. We, the people of Botswana, are cattle keepers. Let every household and family that has a kraal of animals give us one bull. And with that one bull donation by the people of Botswana, they have built a university that has become a world-renowned university. So similarly, we appeal to the leaders and people of West Nile and all education stakeholders to support this fundraising drive. We believe we have about 2 million adults in West Nile. If each and every one of us gave only 1,000 shillings, we should be able to raise 2 billion, which is more than enough for us to be able to run this university and be a regional university that each and every one of us will be proud of. I thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.
And farm management. Taban Tairi Majid, More Patrick, Isaac Ezele Alex, Hussein Adnan, Mongo Nira Josephine, Chandi Balek Golet, Juma Theophilus, Adomati Caesar, Eotaro Constance, Eric William, Odama Hakim, Dema Ronald, Eyokia Mary, Ajonye Florence Simon Gota.
By virtue of the authority vested in the Chancellor, by law and on his behalf, I confer upon all those persons whose names have been read the Diploma in Agricultural Production and Farm Management of Nile University. On his behalf, I confer upon the person whose name has been read the Bachelor of Animal Husbandry and Farm Management of Nile University.
I cannot, with no fear of contradiction, I will openly say we have graduates today